Oh my goodness. Hi. Hi, Laura. Alrighty. Good afternoon, and my name is Dr. Kimberly Barrington, and you are rolling with the doc today. Yes, you are with 100 Shades of Disability. Today is Wednesday, January 13th of 2021. Can you believe it? We made it to a whole nother year, but we're still going through the same old stuff. Who knew? We thought that yes, once 2021 came, we will be one and done, but we're still here. I am so excited on today. As you can see from the posts that have been going out the last couple of days, that 100 Shades of Disability has a new logo. We've got some new themes. We're doing some new and great things and going into different platforms. So I am so excited. And wow, my first guest for 2021, you know, I have not been on for a minute there. I had to take a little bit of time to kind of regroup from losing, wow, my best friend. Not just a best friend, but my dad. And wow. Yeah, we're not going to go there. We're going to have a great show today. We have a fantastic, phenomenal guest. You probably remember her from season 2 of Sunday's Best, Miss Latice Crawford. Oh my gosh, she had such a sultry, soulful voice. When she came out on the stage, she commanded your attention. And of course, you know, the thing that I love the best is we was rocking the same hairstyle, maybe not for the same reasons, but I just fell in love with her. I fell in love with her voice, and she would sing some of my most favorite songs. Not sure if she's gonna sing any of those today, but the other thing that I love is that she has this handsome young man named Joshua who is in her life that gives her so much pleasure and purpose. And guess what? I have one of those too. His name is Joshua as well. So we both have sons named Joshua. And I'm really excited for you to hear everything that she's been doing. Well, we probably won't get to do everything, but at least we'll touch on for the next hour some of the things that she has done since she has been on Sunday's Best. And without further ado, drum roll, please. Here she comes. Woo, hey. Do the drum roll, do the drum roll, do the drum roll. Yes, and there she is. Woo, yes. And I'm like, who is this lady? I don't know her with all this her. I said, you know what, really? The only reason why I want hair, because number one, I have long nails, and I just want to take this pinky finger. I just want to do like this and go, what? Oh my God, I didn't hear you? Yeah. Hello, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Oh, you got some pretty teeth, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do a teeth check.
Right, gotta make sure nothing stuck up in there.
Yes. So I am so excited. When you sent your bio over, I mean, we all know that you can sing, you know, not just, you know, we got some singers, but she can sing. All right. And I got all of what you do now as a life coach, get your whole life, not just a little bit, but we're going to get your whole life back. I said, let me get me some fatigue on, girl. I feel like there might be a let's do a little fight. So we like, what's happening? All right. Peace be still. What's going on with the video?
Yeah, it's trying to break up a little bit.
Just a little bit. What's going on? I think I'm
It
talking
don't,
like,
it don't want
hello.
us to have a real conversation.
Well, you know what, the devil is a lie.
Yes,
And
he
we
is.
bind up them
Yes,
airways. But you can
yes.
still hear me, right?
I can hear you. It breaks up a little
Huh?
bit, but I can hear you. It breaks up a little bit, but I can hear you. Now it's
Okay.
frozen.
Well, I'm glad I got some good stuck face and I'm not looking all crazy. I'm looking at myself. I look a little stuck.
It's definitely frozen, but I can still hear your voice in real time.
All right. Let me see. Let me while we do that. Can you hear? Oh, now no, not today. All right. She's moving. You're moving, but I'm still not moving. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't even see you at this point.
No video at all.
No video.
Okay. But we have audio. Oh,
It's me.
so where did everybody go? Oh, there we go. And here I come back. I think. No, yep. Start my video. Do you see my picture up?
Nope. I see a black screen.
Nobody likes me today.
There you go.
You see me? I'm back.
I can
Or
see
you
you
see
now.
you see me now?
Yeah.
So you can see me.
Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay. Oh, there I am. Hey, I'm back. Well, we thank God. All right, here we go. So I am so excited to have you on today. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing for the last year during this pandemic.
Wow, it's been really interesting for me because I had went on this amazing healing journey about 2 years ago when my father had passed away, and then
Oh, we got that in common. Mm.
yeah, and then my mom passed away March 1st of this year. Well, of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And so, all of the healing that I had done, all of the place of peace that I had gotten to, it was almost like I had to start all over again because now I've had this next significant loss. And it's like, oh my gosh, now it's two parents, so I have been really, in addition to the work that I do, I've also been, just continuing to work on me and figure out who I am in this. This is going to be life for a while. Not just in the passing of my mom, but the circumstances of this pandemic, being stuck in our houses somewhat, being a little bit afraid of, germs and different things. I'm now homeschooling, my son. So, that goes into my day as well. So it's a lot, but I've just been really trying to not get frustrated about it, but accept that this is a part of our now, and now we have to adapt to it. We don't get to just throw it away or act like it doesn't exist. It's a part of our lives and it'll be a part of it for a while. So how do I readjust, my life so that it can fit and make sense and work without being frustrated? So that's really what I've been doing, during this time. I know a lot of people are like, it's just how to be creative and work and do all this and do all that. But I'm like, no, sometimes you got to just stop, and you have to be conscious of what's going on and what's happening and not just be so quick to try to move forward and function, but really sit down and pay attention to what's happening.
I think one of the things that I have adult children, and they said, we never saw you stay stuck in anything. It's just like, oh, that happened. Okay, so now what do we need to do? We had a plan. We were working the plan. We now just need to change the plan and let's keep it moving. And they said, we've never seen you just stop and deal with all the emotional part of it. And I said, but I did. And I think that sometimes as women, we don't always have that opportunity to get into
Mhm.
our feelings.
Yeah.
We just don't, because everybody needs us. And it's like, I don't have time to be in my feelings right now about this situation. And I do believe that during this time of the pandemic, it has given us a time to really do a little bit of soul searching and maybe sit in our feelings just a tad bit and say, I don't this, I don't like how it's making me feel. I don't like what's happening around me. So, you know what? I want to do something different about it.
Yeah, you're right. I a few years ago, I really started scheduling myself into my day. And what I mean by that is, the same way if I had a meeting or if I had an interview or if I had something going on, how I would schedule it and I wouldn't put anything else within that time. If I had to be on an interview, my son knew, okay, you got to be out here, you got to entertain yourself for a few minutes. And so it was like, why am I not doing that for me? Why
Right.
am I not scheduling me into my day to say, this 20 minutes is for me? Don't knock on my door. Don't tell me you're dying. Don't ask me for a sandwich. Go in the
Nothing.
kitchen and get it yourself, and I had to be very selfish about that time because I realized, like you said, I was functioning for everyone else. Everything else was surviving off of me, but I didn't even have enough to live off of myself anymore because I was trying to be this super mom, this perfect person. I didn't want to, look like a failure, based on the societal demands, like you said, of a woman. And so I really had to find a way to still be me and kind of explain to my son specifically the kind of mother that I needed to be to him. I know that you see this staple of what a mother is, and she just sacrifices her entire life, but I will die if I do that. And I'll die early if I do that. So
Mhm.
here's the mother you're
Absolutely.
going to get, you know? Yeah.
And you don't have to necessarily die a physical death in order to die.
Yeah.
You just wake up one day and you realize, like, what happened to me? You look in the mirror,
Yeah.
I don't know who I am anymore. I've aged. Where did all this white hair come from? I see these bags under my eyes. I see the wrinkles in my face. And it's like, what happened to me?
Yeah.
And I think that my aha moment was when I had my stroke.
Wow. Wow.
And now I'm in a wheelchair.
Wow.
And I said, sometimes God taps us on our shoulder. Hey,
Mhm.
I see you. And he said, they're like,
Mhm.
and then there are times, he's always trying to get our attention. And then sometimes he has to just stop and arrest our attention. And
Yeah.
I tell people, from now, don't let him arrest your attention. You don't know
Yeah.
what that's going to look like for you.
Yep.
You really don't. I never would have said, oh, well, he's going to do it this way and not be in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
When he really wants us to stop and say, you were designed for a purpose. I created you
Mhm.
for. It's not for everything that you want to do, not everything that your kids want you to do, your grandchildren, your
Yeah.
friends, your record label. But I have an assignment, and I promise you that all those other things will fit right into what I have called you to do.
Absolutely.
They will.
Absolutely. It
And
will. You froze up on me again.
I think I'm stuck again.
I can hear
Yes.
you again now,
Oh,
though.
come on. There we go. Oof. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you good. Your picture is frozen, but I can hear you
Oh,
good.
okay. Okay. So I think that's, the piece is that when I saw Get Your Whole Life Back, it's like, wow, what is my whole life? It made me stop and think about, well, what is my whole life? And it's like, it's my purpose, what God has placed me here to. Each person has a job, and what that looks like is totally different for each person and how you need to get there. Maybe yours started out by singing, but maybe that wasn't the be all to end all.
Yeah. Honestly, when I started, whole life, even the reason that I named it that,
Yeah.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You're breaking up. I don't know why we're having such a difficult time today. Oh, wait a minute. Now I fast forwarded some kind of way. All right, I think I'm back.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly now.
Okay.
Can you hear me good, or am I breaking up?
So my question. Oh no, you're good.
Okay.
So my question to you was, um, did you just now find your purpose in this last year, or were you doing bits and pieces of it along the way, but really went full force during this last year?
Interestingly enough, I think that my purpose was being designed and created and kind of put into place throughout my whole life, and that's what I was saying. I didn't know we were breaking up, but I was saying that part of the reason why I named my company Whole Life was because I learned very quickly while I was healing that healing was not about throwing things away, and acting like those parts of my life wasn't useful, but it was really accepting all of it, the whole butterfly effect, the caterpillar to the cocoon to the butterfly. And I realized I couldn't spit on the caterpillar or the cocoon process, but then appreciate the butterfly. And so I was learning in that time frame, like even the bad things, all of these things that have happened in my life were literally leading me right here. Had I not built up enough muscle from carrying all this heavy stuff, had I not had these experiences, what would I be talking to these women about if I hadn't went through abuse and divorce and single motherhood? Like, what would I have really been able to speak to people about, and I make a joke all the time and I say, I don't know if I completely heal, I might not have nothing to write about no more, because, we write these songs out of pain and, out of our struggles and out of the deliverance that we want and that we seek, and they wind up blessing everybody else. I will definitely say I never pictured or imagined myself specifically here, in the sense of being a mental health professional and going and getting the certifications and then being a life coach. I wasn't even planning to be a singer, but when I really do look back at all of the jobs I worked at and the places he would wind up having me be, I was always the one holding the flag, like, no, I'm gonna fight for everybody. I was always the fighter, as tiny as I am. I was always the one kicking everybody in the throat, and trying to make sure that stuff was in order and that people weren't being done dirty. And I wanted to be this voice, for the voiceless and for people. So I think that by being a singer, it allowed me to write the lyrics that the people like me in church were not able to say out loud. It's not easy to say out loud that my marriage is failing, in church, in a place, in an institution. It's not, they'll tell you to get married, but they don't tell you how to get there, how to stay there, how to make it work. And then if it doesn't, how to redeem yourself after. Being a single mother, even though I had my child within my marriage, those are not things that the church really was speaking on. And so I was able to use my platform as a singer to really write the lyrics for the people who were like me, the people who were somewhat seemingly the rebel, seemingly the unaccepted, and the people who believed God but wasn't sure if they wanted to be in the four walls, in the politics of what the church represented. And so I got to do that. I've been doing that now for almost 12 years. And I think it started to shift. Like I said, when I went on my own healing journey and really realized that there were so many other people like me that were looking for something beyond where they were. They were ready to come out of their trauma, but they didn't know how. And so, like I said, whole life, and my whole life kind of simultaneously went together. Like I said, just accepting the full life experience and not throwing any of it away, but learning new tools to fix old problems.
We are now at the 4:22 hour. I can't imagine that we've already, talked 20 minutes. I think when we talked earlier in the week, we had already decided this may end up being a two-parter. So we're, so excited about that. But we want to stop and say thank you so much to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing for being with us. They've been rolling with us since May 7th of last year. And to 100 Shades of Disability, of whom I am the founder and the CEO of. And we at 100 Shades of Disabilities improve the quality of life for persons with disabilities economically, legislatively, and through community partnerships and education. And this show just gives us an opportunity to, number one, highlight that those things that persons with disabilities, whether they are seen or unseen or unperceivable, just to have an opportunity to share. And disability doesn't always look like what we think that it does. We can be disabled by our situations, by our economics. We can be disabled, in a marriage. So disability comes in so many different forms, and we really want to break the stigma of what that looks like, and so that people don't feel ashamed to say, I do have a disability. And as we have gone through this pandemic, we are seeing that there are more and more persons who, if they did not have a disability, they are saying that now more than 75 to 80% of persons that are experiencing the pandemic will have some sort of disability, especially when it comes to their mental health. And I am not afraid to say that I'm saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized, and I love Jesus. And so we know that it is difficult when you are in the church community, in the church culture, to talk about those things which are affecting you, especially when it comes to disabilities, whether they are physical, mental, emotional, cognitive, or neurological, that we just don't address it. And so this is a safe platform where we can have those conversations and maybe answer some questions and make you feel like, you know what? I'm not the only one, and let you know there is someone else who is experiencing what you're experiencing, and it's okay. Jesus himself experienced depression. He was so depressed and upset and scared when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane that when he started sweating, it was actually, he sweat blood. We don't do that, but the Bible says that he was depressed. He was sad. He said, this is something that you want me to go through? You want me to do this? And at the end of it all, he said, nevertheless, it's not my will, but thy will be done. And so it is there, trust, God himself gave Saul the spirit of depression. He sent demons to torment him day and night because he was in direct disobedience to God. But he sent David to play some healing tunes that would help to calm him when he got in his depressive state. So we can look throughout the entire Bible and find different, times where they talked about David was depressed a lot when he was hiding in the cave from Saul, just the depression that he felt because he was so alone, felt that he had no one with him. And so this is definitely a safe place for us to have those conversations. You can call, you can text, tweet, come on in and just say, hey, you know what? Thank you for talking about that because I haven't been able to. And you got the diva right here. She's just, yes, God. So we are grateful that you are sharing your story and you are telling people, you know what, it's okay. You done fell apart, but we are taught to throw away those pieces of our life. But I promise I wouldn't be who I am today. I would not have rolling with the doc, wouldn't have 100 Shades of Disabilities had it not been for those things that I had, experienced. And God still has kept me, has blessed me, and has used me through it all. So we are so grateful. So
yeah,
grateful.
our experience in life, I said to someone today, our experience in life is like, almost like a tree. A tree doesn't change, it grows. It might look like to us that it's changed because it's taking on these new forms or whatever, but when it was planted in the ground, it was already known that it was going to be a tree. The seed was the tree. And so when God created us, he already understood who we were going to be. He already knew, he already equipped inside of us to handle the storms, the rain, the sun, the seasons, absolutely, all of these things, and so as a tree is growing, it's learning all of those things, okay, this is what I have to do when the winter comes in. This is what I have to do in the fall season. Okay, I got to know when to produce. I got to know when to provide, and I have to let know when I need to release as well. And I think that if we really understand that principle of, every season is not going to be about producing. Every season is not going to be about providing either. We can't water the leaves all year round. At some point in time, we got to cut them off, and let them fall, knowing that they'll come back in the right season. I was telling them about a lot of times when I dream, I see a lot of nature things, and I kept seeing this bare tree, and I was like, why is this tree, in my dreams? And so I was looking up why do trees, let their leaves go in the fall season, and it was saying that the tree is preparing for the worst season of its life, and so it knows that when it's trying to hold on to these leaves, it will literally die if it does not release. If it continues to try to provide, it will literally die. And then the leaves die anyway. And us as the tree, like I said, we have to know when it comes that time in our life when we can't keep feeding into certain things. So it's those bad habits, those bad connections, that bad little boyfriend that you keep trying to hold on to, we have to release them in those seasons. And then it says that when the tree releases the leaves don't just die and have no purpose. They utilize the leaves around the tree. So when the rain falls, when the snow falls, when it gets really cold and heavy, the leaves hold on to the water and then re-waters the tree in the coldest season. So again, utilizing all of what is a part of us to make us better, to heal us, to grow us, is so important.
I want to say that is a great metaphor. It's a great metaphor. A great metaphor. When we think about it, as I can look out my window right now and I can see that the tree is bare, but it doesn't mean that it's not producing. It's just saving itself until another time. Because during the winter time, you think about it doesn't rain as much. There's not as much water. So if it can hold on and just keep the roots well and not have to go all the way out to all these all these branches, then it's like, okay, I can preserve myself until it's time for the leaves to come back, and then they'll come back really beautiful. And so I think that's a great metaphor that sometimes God will have us in a season where, guess what? I just can't do anything for anyone. I need to preserve me, deepen my roots into who it is that he's called me to be, what it is that I need to do, so that when it's time to produce, that I can produce something that's good, that's beautiful, that's vibrant, and I can give to other people. Because when I look out here, I love it in the springtime when I see the pretty colors and all the flowers. Woo, it's giving something to me. It's giving me love. It's giving me energy. It's giving me life. So I appreciate that. That's a great metaphor to liken us unto a tree, and how we have to go through those different seasons and release some stuff. Yeah, we need to release a lot. So when you are in that dormant season, what is it that fertilizes you?
That's a great question. The things that fertilize me, like I said, are the things that I've had to release. I try to really learn the lessons, in those seasons when I'm not as active or as busy. And that's kind of what this season has been for me, with having so much time to just sit at home. Rather than to just keep going, like I said, and acting like nothing is happening. I'm really trying to pay attention to some of the missteps that I've taken, not harbor on them, but pay attention to them and really take time to learn. Okay, how did I step that way, and how am I different now because of that experience? How have I let it change me for the good? How have I let it change me for the bad? How is my attitude? How's my temperament? All these different things, that I feel like help me for the next season, so that when I am in my, prosperity season again, I know now a little bit better how to give. I know a little bit more how to receive. I know what's for me and what's not for me. I know, who I need to be around and who I shouldn't be around, because sometimes you let people back in, to seasons.
Well, we have a question Jason says, can you walk in your purpose while you are still healing?
Absolutely. I think that your purpose is developed in your brokenness. I really do believe that. I think that we all have these moments, and I won't say, I will say this. When my mother first passed away, I was very, very conscious about sitting still and not going on the road as much
Mm-hmm.
to because I had questions at that time and I was not sure what I would say. I was angry,
Wow. Yeah.
half at God, half at her, like, how could you die? Why would you choose? That's the one choice you make. My mother was very much a selfless person and she'd choose everybody else all the time. And it was like, this is the one time you choose not to choose us. So I had a lot of,
Wow.
yeah, I had a lot of questions. My mom, if anybody, was the person that I thought would get the miracle. And so when it didn't happen, I kind of was like, all right, God, I'm not doubting you, but everybody kept telling us that she was going to get this miracle and that you was going to make it all right. Like, what do I believe now? So I do think it is important for us to pay more attention in our season of healing, but I don't think that it stops our purpose within that. My honesty and me being able to tell other people that were struggling how I was feeling, it made them know they were not alone. We were able to walk that thing out together and encourage each other and remind each other, that we couldn't die there. We had to live for the living. So I do think that you can still, be active in your purpose while you're healing, but just be very careful.
Yeah. It's like having an open wound.
Hmm.
It's like having an open wound. It's we got to keep it covered a little bit. We can still go out, but we just need to keep it
Hmm.
covered a little bit so it doesn't get infected.
That's
I
right.
think is the best way to say that. I love how you say that about your mom. She chose, like, why would she choose herself right now? Why
Right
did you
now.
think about us? My dad, it was so funny as I'm changing over and walking in the newness of what God has given me, in this 2021. And I was setting up the YouTube channel and it says, write the description and add your videos. So, of course, the first video that I uploaded was the one of him and I together. And he was on my show October 28th and he died November 16th. And so I was in my feelings today. I've been in my feelings because I was up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, working on all of this, getting things together, adding new people to my team, things not going the way that, I wanted them to go. So I was like frustrated. And then it's like, and I'm mad at you because you're not here for me to have a conversation with. And who told you that you could just leave me here? And you left so much responsibility on me.
Yeah.
Without, the only thing that he communicated to everyone was, when I die, my daughter is going to take care of me and she will bury me and she will do it well.
Wow.
And that's what he told it to everybody. So I talked to him at 12:45 that day because he had come on the show to give $10,000 to give away all of these iPads. That's what we had decided to do, was as a way to leave him a legacy, was to connecting to your community through technology. And I bought all these iPads. They all finally came in on Monday. So they're sitting over there waiting. And it's just been so difficult for me because I'm looking at them and I'm in my feelings. I'm just really in my feelings because I talked to him at 12:45 to read to him one of the applicants. And he was like, oh my gosh, yes, he is approved. Absolutely, hands down, but I'm feeling a little tired right now. I just want to lay down. And he goes, I said, well, do you need me to come by there? Do you need me to come and get you? Do you want me to take you to the hospital? He was like, no, my nurse is gonna be here in the morning. And after she comes, you can come and get me. I'll come to the house and you know how you do your little show. We can do your show, get the people to come on there so we can tell them that they're gonna get an iPad. And I said, absolutely. That was at 12:45. We talked. He was like, I love you. You're doing such a great job. I really am so proud of you. I'm glad that we're doing this together. And at 7-Eleven, he was gone.
Wow.
I was just like,
Wow. Wow.
gone. And so the iPads are here and I'm in my feelings.
Wow.
I'm in my feelings. I haven't done my Wednesday show because I've been in my feelings.
Yeah.
Been in my feelings. Been in my feelings. And so I said, what an awesome person to have for the first show, for the new thing. Because God said, behold, I do a new thing. And I thank God for the new thing. Yeah. Just grateful for the new thing. And then even to know that this was even divinely orchestrated, not having known. I mean, we talked about a lot of things prior to, I mean, it was like we have always known each other. When we talked the other day, and even to be able to speak into your son's life and to pray for him, I mean, we just hit it like we have been together forever. And for you to come on the show today to find out that, yeah, your dad died and how that made you feel and going through that healing process. So I love it. If that gives even more clarity to Jason to say, you know what? I'm still in my purpose. I'm hurting and I'm trying not to cry. Right?
You gotta release that thing, girl.
I'm trying so hard. This is just trying so hard not to cry and to hold it together. And but even while I'm hurting and trying to heal, because I feel like there's such a vacuum that has been left. But I promise that the deposit that he made is greater than the hole that I feel that I have.
Yeah. But you know, it's so important for us to feel, you know. I mean, the amount of times I found myself saying, oh no, I'm trying to hold it together. And it was like, why?
Yeah.
Why do we feel like that it's not okay for us? You know, healing does not mean that you don't feel it. You know, healing does not mean that you don't. Healing actually means you do feel it. You know, sometimes our traumas make us so numb that we just keep trudging on and we don't stop and go, ouch, that hurts. And we stop feeling everything. Like it came to a point in time where people were literally just running over me and just doing all kinds of stuff. And I wasn't even paying attention. And in my mind, I thought that meant that I was okay. But as a human being, if somebody cuts you, if somebody steps on your foot, it's supposed to hurt. You know what I mean? And so when I even went back, like you said, to the word and realized, now wait a minute, if Jesus, the savior of the Christ, can be on earth. And when his cousin died, you know, when Lazarus died, he wept. He cried.
Yes.
He cried. When he got on the cross, he was like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute, stop the show. Why? You know, we say these 7 last sayings in church and we talk about Jesus wept, but we don't really internalize that and realize that if we're created in the image and the likeness of him, we possess all these things and feelings and emotions. Jesus was in there flipping tables. You think we don't get angry? You think we can't cry? So I'm not telling you to be a basket case, but I am telling you, like, I do realize as you know, women have that and men have it. We have it on 2 different ends of the spectrum, but we really do feel this weight of, I can't cry. I have to hold it together. And I always ask why. You are not crazy because you cry. You are not weak because you cry. You are not, you know, distraught because you cry. You are human. And we're supposed to have these emotions. And so if you don't release it, you know, literally crying is medicinal. You know, so every time we cry, that's why we feel a little bit better. I started scheduling crying sessions.
Yeah, I will be crying at 6:00 today, from 6:00 to 6:15. Amen. And don't bother me. And I'm gonna be all in my feelings, all up in her in holiness.
Yeah,
right up in her. Yeah, and it's like when I did that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yes.
You know, I even talked to yesterday, I was talking to my husband and I just said, look, he's like, don't cry. So he starts crying because I'm crying. We're both like in the parking lot just, he was like, I don't want you to cry. But it was because it was so crazy because his sister died on November 10th. There were only 2 children, just him and his sister, just the 2 of them. Their parents are gone. And so she's his person. That's it. And my dad was calling every day to encourage him, to encourage us.
Mhm.
And then he dies on the 16th. So they died 6 days apart. So I'm at her funeral and in the funeral home
Mm.
as the staff is coming to help me to pick out my dad's casket. And I'm like, we were just, it was
Mm.
nice because we both came home and just boohooed together.
I'm telling you.
We just
Mhm.
said, okay, that's just it. We both just cried and said no. We laughed because him and my dad he had just been over to the house on Saturday. He goes, because my dad calls, I feel in my spirit, because this is the bishop. Yes, bishop. I just feel down in my spirit. I need to talk to my son-in-law.
Mm.
Tell him to come on through to the house. I think he's feeling a little sad. I got a little cheer for him. I need him to come on by, and I want to cheer him up a little bit. And so he came home and he came in the door. He said, the bishop wanted me to know that y'all talk about everything. I said, oh, okay. And we do. I said, is you looking for verification of that or what? He said, yeah. He just wanted me to know that y'all talk about everything. I said, and we do. And it's a good thing. He said, and he told me to tell you that it's okay. You can talk to me about everything too. I said, uh-huh.
He about to be all up in your business.
I said, wait a minute, wait a minute. I said, let me give me a call on this one. What is that about, And then when I thought about it, okay, here I go again. It was almost like, okay, so did you know?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Why send that message? To say, all right, she talked to me about everything, but he said that you can talk to me about everything too now. And you go on Monday. That was on Saturday. And now this is Monday. So I was just like, oh, I'm not like right now. How about that?
I believe so. I believe
like
so.
either one of you. But I love God because he said, I would not leave you comfortless.
Mm. Yes, 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 yes.
I won't. I won't. I won't.
Wow.
So I just was like,
Yeah, yeah.
I love you.
It's true. I feel like that they do really prepare us. My mom died almost in my arms. She had cancer. She battled cancer for about 2 years. And, when she finally kind of decided, because I really believe my mom just decided that this is not what I want. That I don't want to live like this. I don't want to put this, I had taken care of my dad for the years, that he was sick. He was, had diabetes and all kinds of stuff. And she just said she didn't want that for us. So she called us to the house. About 3 days before she passed, she was staying in New York with my sister. She had moved back to New York with my sister and her husband. And so I went there, and for the 3 days, we just literally saw this rapid decline. I had just talked to her on FaceTime or whatever, and she was asking me. My mother was my person. My sisters jokingly say, "Oh, you were her favorite." I probably was her favorite.
Oh, I'm just saying, girl, right? Okay, look, wait a minute. High five on the favorite. Come on. And
so
I don't know. I am my daddy's favorite. Everybody said to me, does your father have other children besides you? I said, okay, I guess. And it was funny because I was talking to my stepmom and I'm just going on and on. I said, I'm sorry. I forgot that y'all had some kids too. I said, I'm acting like I was just the onlyest one. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh God, it's true though.
I'm just not to scare you. And I just
my dad's favorite. So, my youngest sister is like, well, I just was left out there. I
think that it's interesting how Jason said thank you, and you are absolutely welcome. We want to say hey to Dr. Thurston Willoughby, who's watching, and all the way from Middleville. And we want to say hey to Sephora. She is watching all the way over there in the Big D, Detroit. And I meant to tell y'all that Miss Dark and Lovely here is up in New York. So again, we are traveling. We some traveling folks. I swear I get around in this wheelchair.
Good thing.
My
Good
hip,
thing.
on my horn, y'all move out the way because I'm traveling. Got on my traveling shoes. Or I should say wheels, huh? I'm just traveling. But I just think that it's interesting that, you know, when you say that, my sister-in-law died from cancer. And we thought that she was good. You know, my husband was going over there every day to her, you know, and she like, hey, sis Eliza, hey girl. I said, what he done brought you to eat? I know y'all eating something. And they too had a good day that day. She ate, they talked, looked like things were going well. She was talking to him about the medication. They were changing a med. And she said, but I'm having a little trouble breathing. And it was like, okay, well, call the doctor. Just make sure. She said, maybe it's because, you know, you changed medication. And by 10 o'clock at night, they called. And
wow.
yeah. So I'm grateful because I feel as though it was meant for us to have this conversation.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
whole life, child, because we whole life. Did I do that? Whole life. Oh. Mm. She said, I love it. 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 I mean, it's interesting how, for those of you who like to interview or be interviewed, you say, oh, can we get a list of questions? And we have these questions. But I tell you, never lock yourself in because you never know who's watching. You never know what they need, whether it's even you or the person who's being interviewed. That just let go, let God, and just be open to what needs to happen. Because we had a whole thing planned out.
Yeah, we really did. We really did.
We had this plan. I mean, we crossed every T, dotted every I, and yeah.
It just needed to go the way that it's going. I think sometimes we don't even know how much we need to be encouraged. You know, the people who are trying to be the encourager, and we got up here thinking that that's what we were going to be doing. You know, encouraging the audience and the people that are listening. But we needed it. You know, in order for us to continue to give, we have to be filled. You know, and so I think that's what this was. And we got our round two.
We got number 2 coming back around. Where we will hit on some of those other subjects. So I do, I would be remiss because, girl, I cannot believe it. It is 4:51.
Yeah.
The time quick. I would be remiss in this hour. What is the song, whether you wrote it or it's another one, that is your go-to just in this moment, in this hour? What resonates down in your soul?
I would say it would be two songs that I usually just kind of go to, and one is just a regular congregational song. This is the day. That has for some reason been my theme. As of lately, just thinking about this day. I got another one. Just the fact that God continues to give me another this day. This moment, this time.
Let me hear your rendition of that.
Let me see. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. We will rejoice. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it, 'cause this is the day that the Lord has made. So we will rejoice and be glad in it. Because tomorrow isn't promised, but this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made.
Let the church say amen. Yes,
Amen.
Lord, and amen again. I think in this moment is I really love the Lord, regardless of what life may bring.
Mm, mm.
I love him because you don't know what he's done for me. He
Yes.
gave me the victory, and I love
I
him.
love him.
I
I
love
love
him.
Yes, I really love the Lord. Mhm. I really love the Lord. Mhm. I really love the Lord. You don't know what he's done for me. He has given me the victory, and I love him. I love him. I really love the Lord.
Yeah, and I really do.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I really, really do. I think many people ask me, how can you be so joyous
Mm,
in the condition that you're in? And I said, but I could have been dead.
mm, mm,
I could have been. I could have.
yeah. Mm,
But he saw fit for me to see another day. And I love him. In spite of it all, I love him
mm,
because I love him.
mm.
Mm. In the midst of it all, I love him.
Yeah.
God, I thank you. I'm about to get happy right here. And
Listen,
I'm about to have a little bit of church.
listen. I'm Pentecostal, so I'm right there with you.
The good old PAW
But
and
I'm
the
Pentecostal.
window churches of God in Christ. Yes, God. Because I say, if you ain't feeling something,
I'm
I
telling
couldn't
you,
serve a God that I can't
I
feel.
can't feel. Mm. I'm
Yes.
telling you,
And
wow.
so we are grateful, 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 grateful. We are now at the 4:56 hour. We definitely want to apologize. Not that it's anything that it was on our part. I know that there are times where it's more busy than others, and the network gets a little jammed up. And they still working on that 5G. Mm-hmm. Trying to make it wonderful, make it do what it do, but can't nobody get through like God.
Come
So,
on.
so we are so grateful on today for this time. And we're not sure if your schedule allows for you to come back again on next Wednesday where we can get into a little bit more of some of the other stuff that
Yeah.
we have planned on talking about. But I believe that we talked about what God wanted us to talk about and what was needed, and He steered the conversation. And truly, I am, and I know that you are very much so God led in all that you do. And so for that, I am so grateful. So, is there anything that you want to say? Are we putting a comma here or are we putting a pause? We putting a comma or a period?
No, I think this is a comma. I definitely feel like we need to, do this again and hopefully get around to some of what we said we were going to talk about. We're going to talk about the zombies and, the other stuff.
You know, like, oh, zombies. So we were going to talk about the vaccine and what we needed to do and what responsibility that we have to educate ourselves. So we do have a lot more to cover. So I think that we need to talk to my director uh,
Yeah.
doing an awesome job. Mr. Joshua, I was trying to combine Joshua and Gerard. You know, some people call him by Gerard,
Gerard. Gerard.
but I call him, I named him because I'm that baby's mama.
That's right, yes.
He came out of my womb. Yes, God. I got the scar where they
Oh,
just
God.
snatched him out. He was
I'm
like, look,
telling
he is a twin. And so his sister came out naturally, and it was so funny. You could see my I mean, I was so tiny, you know, they were really small. And she came out and he just was like, whoo, thank you, Jesus. I got the whole place to myself. I'm so glad she gone. What took you so long, girl? Get out. Because it was getting crowded up in here. You know,
oh, God.
out.
Oh, my
So
God.
like, come on, little guy, come on out. He was like, no. It's
Mm,
warm, it's cozy, and she gone.
mm.
So they
Wow.
were like, well, ma'am, we're gonna have to give you a local. I said, a what? Yeah, we're gonna have to take him. I said, he don't want to come. Just let him go.
You stay up there.
You know, nowadays, because that was years ago. I tried to tell him, no, I'm proud of myself. I'll be 55 on my birthday. Amen.
Yeah.
Bless God. He's good.
No.
And but yeah, they went ahead and they did a cesarean. Now these days, had she come first and he was still there, they would have allowed him to stay in utero until the actual due date. They were 3 months early.
What?
Yeah, they were 3 months early.
That would be something to have twins, but they 3 months apart.
Yeah. Y'all not twins? How y'all do that?
That'd be really 3 months apart.
Yeah.
Somebody got some explaining to do.
Lucy, you got something to do. Ricky, Lucy.
Oh, that is so odd to me. You know how you just say about connection, because both of our sons' name is Joshua.
Yes.
You know, and my son was a twin. Unfortunately, his sibling didn't make it, you know, all the way through. And so, you know, yeah, to see, you know, that we both had these twins, both of us, you know, have a Joshua, you know, I'm just like, it's amazing, you know, how people just connect so many years, you know, later, and their stories are so similar and intertwined, you know, with each other. So that's amazing.
That way. So
Yeah.
we're really excited to have had you. So this is definitely a comma today. So is there anything that you want? Actually, you know what? You didn't sing your second song. So how about you sing your second song and take us on out?
Oh gosh. Giving my heart back to the one that made it. I'm giving my heart back to the one that never breaks it. And I'm giving my heart back to the one that wants to use it. I'm giving my heart back to the one that won't abuse it. Have your way. Hey, it's yours. Have your way. Hey, it's yours. That's just a little song that I had written maybe last year when my mom was kind of going through what she was going through. And, you know, it was just like, God, I don't know what else to do. My heart is broken. My heart's in pieces. What do I do? And he said, give it back to me. I'm the only one that won't abuse it. I won't use it. You know, I want to use it, but let me have my way with it. Let me heal you. Let me fix it. And that's what I did.
I love it. So as we said, today is just a comma. We will check with her schedule and who we have for next week to see if we can't continue this on next week. If not, maybe it'll be the week after. But we are so excited to have had Miss Latice Crawford on our show today. And as you can see, yes, okay. Mm, mm, mm. That's what we have to do. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and take care of others. Please wear your mask. Will it stop 100% you from receiving the coronavirus? Absolutely not. But it is definitely a barrier. It is no different than when we ask you to glove up when you hang out with somebody that you haven't quite known. Does it stop every single pregnancy? No, because sometimes they break. But it does keep you from getting those diseases. So if you put a glove down there, put a mask up here, and stay safe until the next time we meet together.